Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of Rachel Gaffney's Real Ireland, coming to you from Dallas, Texas. And I am, of course, Rachel Gaffney. Well, in this week's episode, it's going to be rather special, and we've called it Fashion, Beauty and Jewellery Fresh from Ireland. And it's all about the products coming out of Ireland that you may not have expected or associated with Ireland, and it's my way of kind of giving them a shout out and let you know how incredibly talented some of these people are, from jewelers to fashion designers, craftspeople, artisans, you name it. And in this week's episode, the person who's going to bring those to us is none other than Rosaline McMeel. And Rosaline McNeill was the editor for Image magazine in Ireland for 4.5 years, and Image is one of Ireland's leading fashion and lifestyle magazines. Rosalie now is a freelance editor, writer, journalist, and writes for and contributes to magazines such as the CEO magazine and thecurrency.ie. I'd encourage you to read an article that Rosaline wrote in February of this year for the CEO magazine, and it was a lovely conversation she had with the iconic and very well-known Jo Malone. You know the fragrances Jo Malone? Do you know those, Sarah? Do you know Jo Malone, the candles and everything?
Yeah,
you know Jo Malone, the candles.
Yes, I've heard of them.
Oh yeah. So Jo Malone, Rosaline did a wonderful article with Jo, so I encourage you to read that and just go to the CEO magazine, and then you can read all about that. But she'll be coming on with us in a few moments. But until then, every week I do this little segment now called Rachel's Favourite Irish Finds. So for this week, let me share with you Rachel's favourite Irish finds. This week's favourite Irish finds comes to you from Dublin. Last year I was in Ireland and I was having lunch with a friend. Her name was Ruth Forsyth, and she asked me, she said, Rachel, have you been to see Paula Rowan's store? Just there in the Westbury Mall. And I said, no, I haven't. And Paula Rowan is a glove maker. There she is. Look at those array of colours of gloves. I'm coveting those cobalt blue ones, funnily enough. Here she is at work, but Paula Rowan makes these exquisite leather gloves. And they've graced the covers of so many magazines, from Vogue, Italian Vogue to British Vogue, and probably many other magazines that I'm not aware of. Famous people have worn them, but the quality of the gloves is just unparalleled. I love the colours. I love the array of colours. Look at this, the Clash of the Tartans. And this was in one of the Vogue magazine spreads where you see these fabulous gloves and bright colours. You can see the scenery there, the beautiful mountains. And you can see the girls wearing these gloves. Oh, I love those green ones on that. The nice long, the length of those gloves. And her products can be found in her store, which, as I mentioned, is in Dublin. And you'll find her online, Paula Rowan, Paularowan. The likes of Madonna has worn her gloves. You'll see various images of her wearing them. Look at those red ones. I mean, those are fabulous. Oh, I like her little cowboy hat in that. Bit of fun. The iconic, oh, look how glamorous Helen Mirren looks wearing those long black leather gloves with that beautiful outfit. Now look at that. That's probably spectacular. Just so elegant, and you can tell how sumptuously soft the leathers are in them. These lovely fur cuffs. And it's so glamorous with a winter coat. definitely. Oh, love these ones with the gold chain and the tassel. That's very much my kind of style. But then she does these vibrant colours and exquisite designs and everything. So I urge you to check out Paula Rowan, PaulaRowan. She's on Instagram. Obviously her own website, and I'm sure if she's in Vogue and everything else, she probably doesn't need me, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because I personally think they are beautiful. And thanks a million to Ruth Forsyth for drawing my attention to Paula Rowan. And that is this week's favourite Irish finds. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's favourite Irish finds brought to you by Paula Rowan Gloves. Now, let's get straight down to it. Live from Ireland, I mentioned that we would have, our guest today would be Rosaline McMeel, and she's connecting with us from a rather special spot, and there's no Zoom background needed for this. Let's meet Rosaline McMeel. Hello, Rosie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Oh my God, look at where you are.
I know, I'm completely spoiled, and I didn't plan it. It was a last minute road trip, and I feel extremely lucky to be here. I'm in the Kingdom, otherwise known as Kerry, in the south of Ireland, in a little place called Killorglin.
Killorglin. And for those of you who are, I'm glad she mentioned that she's in the Kingdom, because each county has its own kind of name in Ireland, and we all know that Kerry is known as the Kingdom County, right?
And rightfully so,
rightfully so. Well, they are mighty people. I love them down there.
It's a beautiful spot. I mean, I have to say, I'm from Dublin. I've spent my whole life in Dublin, but there are so many nice places to go, but Kerry is definitely top of my list. The people, the places, the food, everything. I love everything about it.
And in the background there, look at your backdrop. You've got some lovely mountains.
In the background, and I don't know if you can see because it's so cloudy at the moment, but it is Ireland's highest mountain. It's Carrauntoohil in the background. So I am not planning to climb soon, but it's there. It makes a good backdrop.
Well, you like a good dip in the ocean, though, don't you? You like to go swimming in the sea whenever you get a chance.
Yes, I do.
So
yeah.
Hopefully you'll get to do some this week.
Yes, I hope so. Maybe in the morning.
Well, thanks a million for joining us. And let's get straight into this. I would really like us to talk about some of the products that you love, and the artisans and the jewelers and the makers and the whole lot coming out of Ireland. And you sent me through this fabulous list of people and their products. And what we have realized, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but we're going to, is that there are so many that we won't be able to get them all into this episode. So what I was wondering is if you would be happy to, every now and again, be our little contributor, our little eyes and ears on the ground over there in Ireland, and for different episodes, maybe share them with us so we do future episodes featuring more of these people, because I don't think we'll be doing them justice if I just, do a quick drive-by of them and now and try and cram them all in. What do you think?
Yeah, it would be my pleasure completely. As you can see, I love a road trip, so I'm often going around Ireland and discovering new places and new people and new products. I'm pretty fussy, as I think you already know.
Yes.
So I don't kind of like just anything. It takes a lot to kind of get on my list. So I would be happy to share some of the finds, and let people know what can be discovered in Ireland.
That's fantastic. And to just reiterate what Rosie said there was, she's kind of fussy. As the editor of Image magazine, and in her role, in all seriousness, over the years, you've seen a lot of things come across your desk and your photo shoots. So you don't have any particular reason to be promoting these, except that you know the story, you know the provenance, you know the person and the product. And so that's where you're coming from. So let's go straight into it and start with the first one that you brought my attention to the other day, which is exquisite. And it's from a company called Nunaya. And here we have
Nunaya.
Nicola Connolly.
This is Nicola Connolly. Yeah, so this is the founder of Nunaya, and Nunaya is a relatively new brand, but actually Nicola was, a marketing executive for a very top airline, and she was caught in the rat race, as many of us are, and she decided to go traveling, and she took a year out and went around the world, and ended up in the Galapagos and then she traveled around Peru as well and met with the locals and learned about how, you know, some of these rituals, how to slow down life, and discovered she was helping the locals create products that might benefit them and benefit sales, you know, commercial sales. And she decided to make her own products. She would come back to Ireland occasionally, and she saw that people were really caught up in the rat race as well. And that we all needed just a little bit of time out. And she has created these products that, you know, she doesn't have very many in the range, but they're products that basically allow you a little time out and a little time to make a ritual for yourself, you know, before bedtime or in the morning. And they're really beautiful products to use. I've used both the Nourishing Radiance Serum, and I've also used the Cleansing Balm, which is her latest product. And she also has these beautiful reusable cotton pads that you can wash your face with. And that's the Cleansing Balm there, and it's just a
What is this
beautiful
ingredient that she uses here? So she got those
Sacha
in
Ichi.
Peru or something?
That's from Peru, yeah. And so she works with the people over there, and proceeds of each of the products, the sales of the products, go to help the community. And she is really quite an advocate for female education as well. So she's helping the communities to, you know, better themselves and to help, you know, kind of create their own way and means to survive as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you see, I think that's I think people are very interested in, I know I am too, in purchasing products where they're socially responsible or we're giving back. We're not just taking, but it sounds like she's giving back. And you do like her serum? You use her serum yourself though, don't you?
I love her serum. But one of the things that I love most about her products is she strongly believes that nothing we put on our skin should harm the people, any other people, or the planet. So everything from the bottle to even the stopper on the top of that bottle has all been researched and has been made as eco-friendly as possible. And she has all the certs, which are extremely hard to get, all the eco certs and the organic certs. And she's done a lot of work behind the scenes to bring those products to market. And I just think it's fantastic what she's doing.
Oh, I love that.
And they're beautiful to use. Really
and
beautiful.
I'm going to look for someone. I'm in Ireland now in a couple of weeks. You can buy them in Brown Thomas, is that right, in Dublin, in the department stores in Cork?
It's right. Kilkenny and Avoca as well.
Avoca and Girls, I'm sorry, you broke up there.
In Kilkenny.
Oh, the Kilkenny design stores, yes, around Ireland. Yes. Yeah. And probably online.
Yes, absolutely. The Clean Beauty Edit online is a clean beauty website, and they stock it too. And I do know that she will be distributing in the US in 2021.
Oh, that's
so watch
very
this
exciting.
space too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, well, let's move on to your next lovely little discovery for us. It's so exciting. And it's a lady by the name of Domino Whisker. Tell us about Domino.
I mean, Domino Whisker, even by that name alone, she was going to be something great, right?
Absolutely.
But Domino, and she is probably one of my favorites that I'm going to talk about this evening. She's incredible. Her mother is a fashion designer and her father is an artist. And together they've created this, really, really creative being. And Domino is an embroidery artist. This is some of her work. She is currently working on a series for Claridge's Hotel in London, which is, that's no mean feat. Like, it's quite an extensive series. She's been working on it for over a year now. And pre-COVID-19, doing regular trips forward and back from Dublin to London to get to research and to get kind of ideas and inspiration. So she's taken a lot of ideas from the hotel itself, and as you can see, there's a bit of Art Deco vibes going on. But Domino's work is just incredible. She, it's embroidery, but it's embroidery you would be happy to hang in your home.
Is it on linen?
Happy to frame. Yeah, she does it on a various different fabrics, but sometimes she was buying vintage handkerchiefs, I think, in the beginning, when she started out, and she does it on linen, Irish linen as well, and it's just beautiful. Her work is incredible. She also does a kind of a Keep Swimming series, which is something that I connected with because of my love for sea swimming, and Domino and myself have gone swimming together in the Irish Sea. She's just a really incredible talent, I have to say.
Oh my gosh, maybe she might be up for a swim with me when I'm over. I'm looking for people to go swimming with
Yeah,
me in Ireland
I'm
when I'm
sure she
over.
would.
But is her work, yes, I see what she's doing for Claridge's and everything. What about, can you buy them as a print or to as a wall hanging
Yeah,
or?
so she has done limited prints as well, and she also does bespoke,
Yeah.
work if you want to order something special. She has a really, really special eye, I think, and just a beautiful way. Even her colorways, I think you could see by some of her works, she has a beautiful, appreciation for the color combinations too.
I mean, I'm just looking at the one we have up there with those beautiful, like a gold and like a cranberry and pink and
Coat
that.
of arms,
It's
yeah.
beautiful. I mean, and you can imagine, I had did a little bit of embroidery as a child, in school and things. And the work, the time that goes into doing something like that,
Yes, and I
just,
first discovered Domino at Create, which is an initiative that Brown Thomas, one of our leading department stores, holds every year. And
yeah.
Create is a chance for the department store to kind of champion Irish brands within the store. Brown Thomas is now owned by Selfridges, which is the UK company, but it is, it's a lovely initiative that they host every year. I think it's in September that they host it, and I don't know what they'll be able to do this year, if they'll be able to hold it again with everything that's going on. But it is a wonderful discovery. So if you can't travel to Ireland in September this year, come back again next year, because they always have some really, really beautiful brands and products there, and things that you would never discover otherwise.
Oh my gosh, well, certainly that's on my list now as well. The next person that you are going to introduce us to, it's a company or a brand by the name of Mo Muse. Is that, am I pronouncing it Mo Muse? Is it
Yes,
all one?
yes, and that Mo Muse, exactly, and
Okay.
that is Margaret O'Rourke, the founder and owner of Mo Muse. She is
Okay.
a jewellery designer, and Margaret is probably, or Mags as she's known,
Yeah.
is probably one of the nicest people I have
Oh,
come
look at
across in
those
business.
earrings.
I
Oh.
mean, just beautiful Baroque pearls. She makes really special pieces. They're not flashy, but they're really. I mean, look at that that square bangle. I have had my eye on that for quite a while. It's just beautiful. It elevates just that simple fine jewelry. You can wear that every day. You don't have to take it off. And Margaret herself has one of those that she wears all the time. I just think it's a really elegant, easy way to kind of update a classic piece, and that's another very simple, very small diamond ring, and I just think it's really beautiful. She makes wedding rings, so it's an opportunity to kind of have something really special and really different
Yeah.
as a wedding band. But Margaret has her store in Powerscourt Townhouse Centre in the centre of Dublin. And it's a beautiful little shop. She also curates some really special gift ideas for you too, in conjunction with her jewellery. So it's a really nice little space to go into. Most people wander in and they spend maybe 30, 40 minutes just hanging out, chatting to herself or the
Really?
staff. She has a lovely little desk in there as well where she used to make the jewellery. She has another studio now, but the desk she still works at sometimes. So it's a nice little spot to kind of go in and see how it's actually made. It's beautiful.
See, I like that idea that it's not just a product that's on the shelves or on the
No.
displays, that you actually get to see how it's being made or how they come up with their designs. Is it a goldsmith?
Yeah.
Is it just gold?
It's primarily gold, but she does have silver. She does have rose gold. She
Yeah.
has a lot of different things, but just it's some of it's fine jewelry, and then she has some beautiful costume jewelry as well. Just really, really nice special pieces, and you tend to know when when it's Mo Muse. Lots of
Yes.
people would ask you, are you wearing Mo Muse? You can tell. Her
I
pieces are
think
just
I'm
beautiful, and you'll
coveting
have
that
them
square
forever.
one too. I think I'm coveting, sorry, I didn't mean to
I
interrupt you. I,
know.
I think I'm coveting that square bangle myself as well.
I know. It's just
So
so simple, right? But just
the
beautiful.
serum and now the bangle. So what else am I going to be buying when I go over?
Well, what about some really beautiful knits from Zoey Jordan?
Oh, so Zoey Jordan. Now tell us about Zoey Jordan and who Zoey is.
Yes. How cool is she? So Zoey
Very.
Jordan is a fashion designer, and she is the daughter of Eddie Jordan, the Formula One race car boss. And she is an absolutely amazing creative talent. So she actually lives in Mallorca in Spain, and
Balearic
that's where
Islands.
she's based at the moment. Yes, and she was working from London, but Zoe grew up in Ireland, in Dublin, and has found herself over in Mallorca with her family, and she's creating, as you can see in that picture, she has really cool knits with cutout details. She also does a lot of beautiful tie-dye work, and at the moment she is doing some bespoke coats or jackets as well, so you can get personalized jackets, little bomber jackets. They're really cool for all the family, and you know, you can have your initials on them, you can have, you know, little patches on them that mean something to you. But really cool. I think her work is great. And then
Yeah, well,
I
just
think I
go to
just
her
saw a little
website now and
flash.
have a quick look at what
Oh
we're
yeah,
talking about. Yeah, so the Zoey Jordan website, there we go.
yeah.
So Zoe's, oh, look at this. So you can
So
tell that there's an influence of living in the Balearic Islands, Mallorca and everything.
yes,
This pop of color, which I love. Are
yes,
these
and they're
matching
all
tracksuits, are they?
yeah, and they're inspired by Ibiza as well. So there's the
Uh-huh.
customized bomber jackets, which are just cool. I think I have my eye on those too. I mean, I have my eye on quite a lot. I think you'll find, Rachel.
So if we went to one of the tabs at the top, let's say where it shows women or something,
Yeah,
let's go to one of the tabs. There we go. Oh gosh, she does the tie dye. So this is very much, it's a different
yeah,
kind of vibe and feel. I love those leggings with the stripes down the side and all of that.
yeah.
So is her stuff for
Really cool.
sale only on, I mean, where are they?
It's
So beside,
online.
oh, look at
So
that.
yeah, she
Look at that
used to stock.
sweater. Sorry, I'm
She
looking at
used
the ones
to,
with all the colours.
yeah, she used to distribute through lots of department stores all over the world, and actually, she decided to kind of downsize and control it all herself. So she's actually kind of taken back the control of her own label and is now distributing herself through the website only. So it's a great way to kind of connect and find something really special that you're not going to see everywhere else.
No, you're not. I think I really like some of her. I was just thinking some of those pieces maybe for traveling as well that,
Yeah,
you call
absolutely.
them tracksuits in Ireland and England, but what do we call them over
Yes.
here, girls? Sweatpants. I don't want to say leisure suits as they say here because the leisure
Yeah.
suit or the leisure suit was something that your granny used to wear, the old velvet matching zippers, that you see from the old comedies or
They'll
sitcoms.
come back. They'll
you
come
know
back.
no, but there's really that moo look, whereas but you know what I'm talking about. So the other person,
Yeah.
I was in Ashford Castle last year, and they have a fabulous store in Ashford Castle, and you can make appointments with different vendors that they have. They may not be on site, but you can do, and I came across, and I remember noting his stuff, but you've brought it up and you have more detail for us, and his name was Nigel O'Reilly. So is
Yes.
Nigel's originally from where? From Mayo?
He's from Castlebar in Mayo. Yeah.
Tell us
So
about Nigel.
Nigel is a goldsmith, and he is a really incredible jeweler. So I interviewed Nigel actually just at the beginning of lockdown and he is just, I mean, look at that work. He puts
Unbelievable.
as much detail into the settings of his pieces as he does into the stone. He has trained under two amazing jewelers, one being Erwin Springbrum, who was a gemologist and like amazing master goldsmith as well, and Rudolf Hetzel, who passed away sadly just at the beginning of April, and who was based in Kilkenny, and his studio is still in Kilkenny and run by his son now, I believe. And just two incredible talents. And Nigel has worked and trained under both of them.
Look at the
He's trained
colours
all
in
over the
that
world,
one.
in fact. They're just magnificent. You will never see another piece like it.
No, I've never seen
And
anything
not,
like it.
and he's just being I think he has just attained a US agent in New York,
Yeah.
and his work is going to be sold through Sotheby's as well. So he is just, I mean, and he still works out of a tiny little studio in a very small town in Mayo, and I just think he's incredible when he talks. So Nigel is dyslexic, and he didn't do very well in school. He found it very difficult, even though his mum was a teacher, and realized very quickly on actually that he was dyslexic and gave him lots of extra help. But he just didn't like school. He didn't, he didn't find it his place. And when he left, he decided he wanted to do something with his hands, something he knew he could
Oh my
do.
word.
And he started a jewelry course, and I mean, look at where he has taken himself as well. You know, he works all the time. You can tell he's a true artist.
I was
I
going to
mean,
say,
that
I
is
don't
one of
think
the most
it's,
beautiful pieces.
I don't think it does it justice to say that he makes jewelry, because that's such
Exactly.
a huge category, you know, where, you know, I could go get some beads myself from the department store, you know, and start
Yeah.
learning how to make a little few pieces. But that, like you said,
Yeah.
he's an artist, and that eye for colour and detail. I think one of the ones that we
Yeah.
showed there was the rose petal, or the ring with the pearl in the middle. I thought that one was rather
Yes,
exquisite
really
too.
special. And actually, that sits in a particular way on your finger. I've tried it on, and it sits so beautifully. It's you know, it kind of sits that it fits your finger just perfectly. It's just magnificent.
I'm looking at the design, and that's what I was wondering about.
Mm.
There's one in particular which we'll be showing in a while. I have a personal favourite that I've seen, for which we'll see in the end, which is the cocktail ring. But before we do that, so we know that certain famous people like his jewellery, and one of them is our
Yes,
very own Irish actress Saoirse Ronan,
yes. So
and
I think
here she is wearing the ring. Oh, look at
he
that!
was making jewelry for somebody else, actually, for another very brand, and she wore his jewelry through this brand, and he went, you know what, I want her to wear my jewelry, my, you know, Nigel O'Reilly jewelry. And
Yes,
he said about it, and there he is with her, wearing his jewelry, and he was just, and he's so humble as well, he was just so delighted that she wore it. And he has a dream now that Ruth Negga, the Irish actress, will wear his pieces someday. And he actually made a beautiful talisman for her, and that's the necklace piece that I think you might have a picture of as well.
oh,
It's
that's
just
beautiful.
phenomenal.
Look at
That's
that.
it.
Tell us
It's
about
the
this. What
most
is it?
expensive piece he's ever made. It's a talisman pendant, and he made that with Ruth Negga in mind. She hasn't worn it yet. I think she would happily wear that. I mean,
I was going to say,
who wouldn't be happy to wear that?
what woman would not want to have that around their neck, because it's so elegant, and I love the shape of
It's
the
just so
neckline
special, isn't
and the
it? Yeah.
drop and the I must admit, I do think that that cocktail ring, there's something very special about that too, because I don't wear things that are kind of wild and crazy, but I wouldn't
Isn't
have,
that beautiful?
I just think, for, you know, if you had a black dress, you know, something simple, that would be so elegant on your
Yes.
hand,
You know, and
just
I was asking
gorgeous.
him as well about who his customer, and he said, you know, they're mainly women buying with their own money, and he has had a lot of executives in saying, you know, the men have their cars and they have their suits and their big watches and all of those
Yeah,
things, and they say there's only so many dresses that they can wear, and there's only so many, you know, hairstyles and beauty, whatever, but a ring or something really special that's made particularly for them gives them the feeling of power when they're in those meetings with, you know, around a table full of men. It's just that little extra something that gives them that feeling that they have a bit of power and they look really,
that's a
really good. And I
very,
love that
very
idea.
interesting point. That's a very interesting point, because, you know, you go and you see, you know, my own husband loves watches. You know, he buys his watches,
Yeah.
you know, and I find that, you know, some of the jewelry that I like, I want to be able to purchase myself as well. And I love gold, and I think it's just my coloring and stuff, but I like gold. Kind of like the square bangle, and now I want this cocktail ring. And I'd be happy to wear the
I
talisman as
am,
well.
yeah, I am not going to do your bank balance any favors here, am I?
No, you're not. You're terrible. You know that's okay. But you know what? I grew up with my mother saying, "Buy cheap, buy twice."
Exactly.
And I'm a huge believer in that. Let's go on to another, and this is our last one for this week, but it's beautiful, and it's a brand coming out of Ireland called Clune Keen. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you are indeed. You are indeed.
So Clune
And
spelled
Clune Keen,
CloonKeen for people, and the girl's
yes,
name is Margaret Mangan. So tell us
that's
about
right.
Margaret.
Yes. So Margaret is based in Galway, and she started her business from her parents' garage, I believe. And she now makes the most beautiful candles and perfumes. And Margaret is, you know, I've tried a lot of candles, I have to say. You know, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but the candle
Yes.
market really exploded here in the last few years, particularly for special or you know, special scents. And the Clune Keen candles, I think, are amongst my favourites, if not my favorite. And so much so that when lockdown happened, we save these special things for special occasions. And I often think of, the rainy day, which we have plenty of in Ireland. But lockdown in the middle of a pandemic, for me, was the ultimate rainy day, right? So
Yes.
I lit the Clune Keen candle, and it was literally like I was giving myself a hug at the end of the day. It was just such a nice thing having that home, in just kind of a beautiful scent. So this is her Étain candle, which is based on Irish mythology, and it's one of her best-selling candles.
Really?
Really, really beautiful products.
Sort of an earthy smell or floral?
Yeah, like it's just beautiful, just really kind of fresh and lovely. And she's actually stocked in Jan George in Sag Harbor in the US and in Miami as well. But she's available in, and actually I walked into Brown Thomas in Dublin the other day, and she was there front and center in their homeware department as well. Really, really beautiful brand. Roisin Dove is her fragrance. Yeah, which it actually won a Fragrance Foundation Award last year, which is pretty hard to do. So really, really amazing. And Roisin Dove is actually related to my name, Rosaline, Dark Rosaline, Roisin Dove. So it's a good one too.
To explain
really
to
nice,
people who
also,
are watching, I just wanted to interrupt you there. So Dubh is the Irish word for black or dark in Irish. So a lot of these names are written in Irish, what we call a fada, R-O fada, I-S-I-N.
Yes.
And then Dubh is black. But also I noticed she had a perfume on her website. I think it was called Bealtaine or La Bealtaine, which means May Day. Bealtaine is Irish for May. Because a lot of people think when I say to them about Irish, they think that Irish is English with an Irish accent. And I'm trying to explain to people it's an actual separate language. But she does have on her website some beautiful scents and fragrances, like you mentioned. And I was reading on her site that she's that was she a filmmaker or something, and they were inspired by the land? And
yes, she was. I don't know too much about her backstory, but she was a filmmaker. I think herself and her husband were filmmakers, and but she's came back to Ireland and just has started this beautiful company. And everything down to the packaging of that product is just really beautiful. They're one of the most special candle brands that I have come across, for sure.
Okay, well, that's another one that, and all of those, most of these people that you've mentioned, I think they're all on Instagram, pretty much.
Yes.
Because I think they're worth a follow too, because of their photos and their little videos and their stories and how to get them, and to go on there would be fantastic. Well, Rosaline, the timing couldn't be more perfect because we've kind of come to the end. But I knew this was going to take a long time to get through some of these products. And if we were to go through, I just want people to get an idea and see what I'm talking about. I've just printed up an email here of the lists. So it's not that we're not covering them, but we're not doing
phase
anybody.
One. Phase one, Rachel.
It's phase one, of Rachel and Rosie. Sounds like our little road show, the Rachel and Rosie show. Maybe we're starting something new.
There's so much more to come. We have just so many wonderful brands and stories and things to share as well. So I look forward to sharing more with you.
All right. And listen, I've got a cup of coffee because it's Monday here. It's Wednesday. What am I saying? But I'm sitting here with my cup of coffee. Have you got a glass of anything there in Ireland? It is evening, so.
I have a glass of water. I do have a glass of water.
It's not Ishkabaha, is it?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's, anyway. But listen, I thank you so much for joining us from Kerry to Dallas. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing what you've got for us sometime soon. Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you so much.